Am I the a-hole for canceling my brother's wedding venue reservation after he uninvited me? So, here's the situation. I 37M have a younger brother, Tom to 6M, who's getting married in just about 3 months. Tom and I have always been close, and I've always done my best to be supportive of him, especially when it comes to important moments in his life like this. I was genuinely excited for him when he got engaged to his fiancée about a year ago, and I really wanted to help them make their wedding day as special as possible. The wedding planning process can be stressful, and I knew that they were going to face some challenges along the way, but I had no idea how things would turn out between us in the end. So, about a year ago, when Tom and his fiancée were in the early stages of planning their wedding, they hit a bit of a roadblock. They were struggling to find an affordable venue that fit their budget. Weddings can get expensive really quickly, and I could tell they were starting to feel the pressure. They had already spent time looking at different options, but nothing was working out. Either the venues were too expensive, or they didn't have the right vibe they were going for, or they were already booked up. I could see how stressed they were getting, and that's when I decided to step in and make an offer. Now, I happen to own a vacation property that I bought a few years back. It's a lovely place with a spacious yard and a scenic view, and I've actually hosted a couple of small weddings there before. It's a great location for something intimate and special, and since I own it, there wouldn't be any rental fees or anything like that. I knew it would be a perfect fit for what they were looking for, and I really wanted to help them out. So, I offered it to Tom and his fiancée as a wedding venue, completely rent-free. I figured it would take a huge load off their shoulders and give them one less thing to worry about in terms of cost. The only condition I had for offering them my property was that I wanted to be part of the wedding party. Specifically, I wanted to be a groomsman, which seemed like a fair request to me. After all, I'm his older brother, and it felt natural that I'd be included in his wedding party. Plus, I was giving them the venue for free, so it didn't seem like too much to ask in return. When I brought this up to Tom, he agreed without any hesitation. He said, "Of course, man. You'll be one of my groomsmen, no question." Everything seemed settled, and I was happy knowing I'd get to be a part of their big day while also helping them out in a significant way. Fast forward to last week, and things took an unexpected turn. Tom and I got into a bit of an argument. It really wasn't anything serious, just a minor disagreement over something trivial, nothing that should have had lasting consequences. We've had plenty of little arguments before, and we usually move on from them quickly. I didn't think anything of it at the time, but apparently, Tom took it more seriously than I realized. A few days after our argument, Tom texted me out of the blue with some news that caught me completely off guard. He said that he and his fiancée had decided to downsize their wedding party, and as a result, I was no longer going to be a groomsman. I was shocked. I honestly couldn't believe what I was reading because, as far as I knew, we had made an agreement a year ago, and I thought that was set in stone. I mean, I was literally offering my property as the venue, and part of that arrangement was that I'd be included in the wedding party. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, so I gave him a call to try and clarify what was going on. When I asked him why he was making this decision, he assured me that it wasn't personal. He explained that they had been rethinking the whole setup of the wedding, and they wanted to keep things small and intimate. According to him, this meant they didn't need as many people in the wedding party, and I just happened to be one of the people they decided to cut. I'll be honest, I was pretty hurt by this. I didn't say much to him on the phone at the time because I didn't want to start another argument, but it really stung. I've always been there for Tom, and to be told that I wasn't important enough to be part of his wedding party felt like a punch in the gut. The more I thought about it, the more upset I became. We had an agreement, and I felt like he was going back on his word for no good reason. That's when it occurred to me, if I wasn't important enough to be a part of the wedding party, why should I still host the wedding at my place? I mean, the whole reason I offered my property in the first place was because I thought I was going to be a part of this special day. But if they didn't want me in the wedding party, then I didn't see why I should still be expected to provide the venue. So I made the decision to call Tom back and tell him that since I wasn't going to be in the wedding, they would need to find another venue. As you can probably imagine, that didn't go over well. Tom and his fiancée were furious with me. They said they had already planned everything around using my property as the venue, and they couldn't afford to book another place at this point in the process. They accused me of ruining their big day and said I was being petty and vindictive. I didn't see it that way at all. To me, it felt like they were the ones who had broken our agreement, and I was just responding accordingly. But now, with them so upset, I'm starting to second-guess myself. It doesn't end there, though. My parents have gotten involved, and they're not happy with my decision either. They think I should just let it go and still host the wedding at my place, even if I'm not in the wedding party. They've told me that it's Tom's day and I shouldn't make it about me or let a small argument get in the way of his happiness. I understand where they're coming from, but at the same time, I feel like I was doing Tom a huge favor, and he basically uninvited me from being a part of the most important day of his life. It feels like a slap in the face, and I don't think I'm wrong for retracting my offer. Now I'm stuck in this awkward situation where everyone is upset with me, and I'm being made to feel guilty for standing up for myself. I don't want to ruin Tom's wedding, but I also don't think it's fair for them to take advantage of my generosity without honoring the agreement we made. I'm really torn about what to do. Should I stick to my decision and make them find another venue, or should I just swallow my pride and let them use my property even though I'm no longer a groomsman? I feel like I'm in the right, but with everyone pushing back, I'm starting to doubt myself. So, am I the a-hole for canceling the venue after being cut from the wedding party? I could really use some outside perspective on this because right now I'm feeling pretty conflicted. Update 1. I was having a hard time believing my brother when he told me they were downsizing the wedding party just to make it more intimate, but that's all he kept saying when I would ask for the real reason. In all honesty, my brother and I aren't that close, which I'm sure is obvious from my last post. After my emotions settled down a bit, I told my brother I wanted to talk to him. He wasn't responding to me, so I said I wanted to talk to him about potentially letting them still use my vacation house. Not totally the truth, but it seemed like a good way to get him to talk. He finally responded but said I couldn't come over, he would only meet me somewhere public, which seemed weird. We ended up meeting at a bar late last night that I like near my place, and I straight up just asked him why he was really kicking me out of his wedding, and I would only consider letting them use my vacation house if he told me the truth. He was getting pretty fidgety and looking away from me and finally told me the truth. Apparently his fiancée heard that I may do a bit of cocaine here and there for fun, and she told him that she didn't want a crackhead in her wedding. He said he actually kind of agreed with her and was disappointed in what I was doing. I told him if I'm too much of a crackhead to be there, then they really shouldn't want to use a crackhead's house for their wedding, and I left. I don't really see how it impacts them what I do in my free time, but I really don't care to be there now if that's what they think of me. I haven't said a word to him since then, but I'm guessing I won't be hearing from him again soon.